Now all Israel recognized or acknowledged that Samuel was the Lord's prophet, and they went to Samuel, the Israelites went to Samuel, and they said, "You are old, and your sons, they don't follow in your ways, so appoint for us a king." So Saul became Israel's first king, but the Lord rejected Saul as king. And the Lord told Samuel to go to Bethlehem and anoint one of Jesse's sons to be king over Israel. So Samuel was to take a heifer and have the elders of Bethlehem consecrate themselves and invite Jesse and his sons to the sacrifice, and the Lord would show Samuel which of Jesse's sons to anoint as king. Now at the sacrifice, Samuel, he saw Eliab, who was the oldest son of Jesse, and Samuel thought, "This is the Lord's anointed." But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at the outward appearance. The Lord looks at the heart." So 7 of Jesse's sons passed before Samuel, but the Lord had not chosen them. So Jesse sent for his youngest son, David, who was tending sheep, and the Lord said, "Anoint him." So Samuel anointed David, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day on in power. And after King Saul had died, the elders of Israel and David made a covenant before the Lord at Hebron, and they made David king over Israel. And the Lord gave David rest from his enemies. So David captured Jerusalem from the Jebusites, and he brought the Ark of God into Jerusalem. And when David was settled in his palace, he said to Nathan the prophet, "Here I am, living in a house of cedar, and the Lord, or the Ark of God, remains in a tent." So Nathan said, "Do what you have in mind to do, because the Lord is with you." So the Lord said to Nathan, "Tell David, will David build a house for me? I have been moving from place to place in a tent ever since I delivered or redeemed my people Israel out of Egypt, and I have not told anyone who I commanded to shepherd my people Israel to make a house of cedar for me. Now tell David, I, the Lord, brought David from tending sheep to become and made him king over Israel. Now, I will make David's name great, and I will raise up one of David's offspring, and I will build a house for David's son, and I will establish his kingdom forever. And I will be his father, and he will be my son. And when he does wrong, I will punish him with the rod of men. But I will not take my love away from David like I took it away from Saul. But I will establish David's house and his kingdom forever. So when Nathan told David what the Lord had said, King David sat before the Lord, and he said, "Sovereign Lord, who am I and my family that you should speak about the future of my house? Who is like the Lord? There is no God but you. Now, who is like Israel, the one nation that you redeemed for yourself, and you drove out the nations and their gods from before your people Israel? Lord God, you have established Israel as your people forever. Lord God, keep your promise to David, so that people will say, the Lord Almighty is God in Israel and over the house of David. Lord Almighty, you have promised to establish a house for David. Sovereign Lord, your words are trustworthy. And this is the story of God's covenant with David.